You know that feeling when you walk into Target for toothpaste and somehow walk out with a new lamp, 3 throw pillows, and a kitchen gadget you'll probably never use? Your cart is full, your wallet is lighter, and you are standing in the parking lot thinking, what just happened? Or maybe it is that late night scroll through your phone when a targeted ad pops up for something you didn't even know existed 5 minutes ago, and suddenly you are convinced you absolutely need it. Before you know it, you've clicked buy now, and the dopamine rush feels great until your credit card statement arrives. If this sounds painfully familiar, you are not alone. Most of us are trapped in a cycle of unnecessary purchases that quietly drain our bank accounts month after month, leaving us wondering why we can never seem to get ahead financially. I am Henry, and I've spent years researching personal finance and the psychological tricks that keep us broke. I am obsessed with uncovering why smart people make poor money decisions and how we can break free from these patterns. I share practical insights that actually work for real people dealing with real financial pressure. If you are interested in taking control of your money and building a life that doesn't revolve around financial stress, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Trust me, what I am about to share could save you thousands of dollars this year alone. Let me introduce you to a concept I call the emotional purchase trap. This is the psychological mechanism that retailers, marketers, and even your own brain use against you to trigger purchases you never planned to make. The emotional purchase trap works through 3 powerful forces: emotional triggers that bypass your rational thinking, environmental design that manipulates your behavior, and cognitive biases that distort your perception of value. Understanding this trap is crucial because it is not about willpower or being smart with money. It is about recognizing that billion-dollar industries have invested massive resources into studying how your brain works and exploiting those vulnerabilities. The core value here is simple. Once you see the trap, you can avoid it. Once you understand the psychology, you take back control. Let me show you exactly how this plays out in real life. Take Sarah, a 32-year-old marketing manager making about $65,000 a year. She considers herself financially responsible, but every month she is confused about where her money goes. When we tracked her spending for 3 months, we discovered she was spending an average of $340 monthly on what I call emotional impulse purchases. A stressful day at work would lead to online shopping that evening. She'd buy a new dress to feel better, order takeout because she deserved it, grab that trending skincare product everyone was talking about. None of these were planned expenses over a year. That is $4,080 over 10 years. That is $40,800. And if she had invested that money instead at a conservative 7% return, it would have grown to nearly $59,000. The emotional trigger here was stress, and shopping became her coping mechanism. Now compare that to Michael, who makes roughly the same income but recognized his own emotional purchase trap. His trigger was different. Boredom and the fear of missing out. He'd see friends posting about new tech gadgets, limited edition sneakers, or the latest gaming console, and he'd feel compelled to buy similar items to feel included. He was spending about $280 monthly on these purchases. But here is what changed everything for him. He implemented a 72-hour rule. Whenever he felt the urge to buy something unplanned, he'd wait 3 days. During that time, he'd write down why he wanted it and how he felt. After 72 hours, about 70% of those purchase urges completely disappeared. The items he did end up buying were things he genuinely wanted and used. Within 6 months, he cut his unnecessary spending by 65% and redirected that money into a high-yield savings account. That is an extra $2,184 in just half a year. Here's another powerful example that shows the environmental design aspect of the trap. Have you ever noticed how grocery stores put milk and eggs at the back of the store? That is deliberate. They're forcing you to walk past hundreds of other products, increasing the chance you'll grab something extra. Research shows that for every minute you spend in a store beyond your planned shopping time, you spend an average of $2 more. A typical grocery run that should take 15 minutes often stretches to 45 minutes, costing you an extra $60 in unplanned purchases. Multiply that by 4 trips a month, and you are looking at $240 monthly or $2,880 yearly in groceries you didn't plan to buy. One of my clients, Jennifer, started using grocery pickup services where she ordered online and picked up curbside. This simple change eliminated the wandering and the visual triggers. She reduced her monthly grocery spending from $720 to $510 for the same household, saving $210 monthly without sacrificing anything she actually needed. The third force in the emotional purchase trap is cognitive biases, and the most dangerous one is the anchoring effect combined with artificial scarcity. Retailers will show you a product with an original price of $200 marked down to $99, and suddenly $99 feels like a steal. But here is the truth. That item was probably never actually sold at $200. The anchor price is fake, designed to make you feel like you are getting a deal when you are really just spending money you hadn't planned to spend. Add in phrases like limited time, only, or only 3 left in stock, and your brain shifts into panic mode, afraid of missing out on this incredible opportunity. I tracked this with a client named David who was obsessed with deal hunting. He'd buy things just because they were on sale, not because he needed them. His closet was full of clothes with tags still on them. His garage packed with tools he'd used once. When we calculated the total, he had spent over $500 in 1 year on sale items he never actually used. That is not saving money. That is wasting money with extra steps. Now I know what some of you are thinking, Henry. I don't have a spending problem. I barely buy anything for myself. I am already living paycheck to paycheck, so this doesn't apply to me. But here is what I've discovered. The emotional purchase trap doesn't discriminate based on income, and it doesn't always look like shopping sprees. Sometimes it is the daily coffee that costs $5 when you can make it at home for 50 cents. That is 4.5. Oh, difference. 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. That is $1,170 annually on coffee alone. Sometimes it is subscription services you forgot you signed up for. The average person has about 12 subscriptions and only actively uses 5 of them. Those forgotten subscriptions cost an average of $273 per year. Sometimes it is convenience purchases like grabbing lunch out instead of packing it, paying for express shipping because you didn't plan ahead, or buying individual items instead of bulk because you didn't think it through. These small emotional decisions add up to thousands of dollars that could be building your emergency fund or paying down debt. Others might say, but Henry, treating myself occasionally is important for my mental health. I can just never buy anything fun. You are absolutely right, and I am not suggesting you live like a monk and deprive yourself of all joy. The difference between intentional spending and the emotional purchase trap is awareness and planning. When you consciously decide to allocate $100 a month for guilt-free fun spending and you stick to that budget, that is intentional. That is healthy. But when you are emotionally triggered into spending without awareness, when you are being manipulated by marketing tactics you don't even recognize, when you reach the end of the month wondering where your money went, that is the trap. The goal isn't to eliminate all discretionary spending. The goal is to make sure you are in the driver's seat of your financial decisions, not your emotions or some marketing algorithm. Some people worry that being this aware of spending will make life feel restrictive and joyless. I found the exact opposite to be true. When you are not constantly bleeding money on things that don't matter, you actually have more resources for the things that do. When you are not carrying guilt about impulse purchases or stress about overdraft fees, you experience genuine freedom. The restriction comes from being broke and anxious all the time, not from being intentional with your money. So what can you actually do about this starting right now? First, track every single purchase for 30 days. I don't care if it is a pack of gum or a mortgage payment. Write it down or use an app. You cannot manage what you don't measure, and most people have absolutely no idea where their money actually goes. This awareness alone will change your behavior because you'll start seeing patterns. You'll notice that you spend more on Fridays after a long work week or that you shop online more when you are bored at night. Second, implement the 72-hour rule I mentioned earlier for any unplanned purchase over $25. When you feel the urge to buy something that wasn't on your list, wait 3 days. Put the item in your online cart but don't check out. Take a screenshot of the item in the store but don't buy it yet. Write down what you are feeling in that moment. After 72 hours, revisit the decision with fresh eyes. You'll be amazed at how many of those urgent must-have feelings completely evaporate. Third, delete shopping apps from your phone and unsubscribe from promotional emails. This is about controlling your environment. If you are not constantly bombarded with targeted ads and flash sales, you won't be triggered as often. Make purchasing slightly more inconvenient. If you want to buy something online, you'll have to intentionally go to the website and log in rather than just tapping an app. That small barrier is often enough to break the impulse cycle. Fourth, create a 24-hour spending buffer in your budget. Here is how this works. Open a separate checking account that I call a spending delay account. When you get paid, immediately transfer your planned spending money for the month into your main account, but keep a 1-day buffer in the delay account. This means there is a slight gap between impulse and ability to spend. It is not a big obstacle, but it is enough to make you pause and think. This simple friction has helped my clients reduce impulse spending by an average of 40%. Fifth, replace emotional spending with free or low-cost emotional regulation strategies. If you shop when you are stressed, create a list of alternative activities. Go for a walk, call a friend, do 10 minutes of stretching, write in a journal. If you shop when you are bored, have a list of engaging free activities ready. Read a book from the library, start a hobby project you already have supplies for, reorganize a space in your home. The goal is to address the emotional need without the financial cost. Your feelings are valid, but shopping shouldn't be your primary coping mechanism. Look, the emotional purchase trap is designed to keep you broke. It is designed to transfer money from your pocket into corporate profits while leaving you stressed, guilty, and wondering why you can get ahead. But you are not powerless here. Once you understand the psychology, once you see the mechanisms at work, you can make different choices. You can take back control. This isn't about perfection. You'll still make impulse purchases sometimes, and that is okay. This is about awareness and intentionality. This is about making sure that your money is working for your goals and your future, not just feeding an emotional void or enriching a marketing executive who studied how to exploit your vulnerabilities. Every dollar you don't spend on unnecessary purchases is a dollar that can go toward building your emergency fund, paying off debt, investing in your future, or spending on something that truly brings you lasting joy and value. The difference between financial stress and financial freedom often is about earning more money. It is about keeping more of what you earn by avoiding the traps designed to take it from you. If this perspective helped you see your spending habits in a new light, do me a favor and hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, someone who is stuck in the cycle and doesn't know how to break free. Subscribe to this channel because I am committed to bringing you practical psychology-based financial strategies that actually work for real people dealing with real pressure. You have more power over your financial future than you think. The question is, are you ready to use it? Let's build something better together. One intentional decision at a time.